Hi, I'm Ben Holland. Thanks for watching Music News.
Ben Holland, it's great to see you. How are you doing today?
Great to see you. I'm fine, thanks. I've had a lot of coffees, so it's a good day.
Good. I've been playing your last album, In You Stay a Night. It's a great listen. How would you sum it up?
It's a bit of a blur recording that album. It was done fairly quickly in one of my good friend's sheds at the bottom of his garden. So I think we recorded it within about 2 weeks. And he's the guitarist who plays on it as well. And yeah, he's just got a small shed at the bottom of his garden that he fixes guitars with. He's a luthier and a player as well. And we just popped a mic in the middle of the room. I'd come round and I'd just say, I've got a song today. We'd have a coffee or so, and then I'd just play the song. He'd press record, and then that was it for about 7 of the songs, I think. And then a couple I did separately in a different place. But most of it, like I say, it was recorded in a shed.
So it was more of a collection of songs that you recorded and had from your past, more than sort of a proper... No,
it was something that I wanted to do. It is my first real album, really, that I'd written to be an album. Because before that, I just had songs and that I'd just thrown onto a CD and then, called it finished when it was done. But that one, that was written to be that album. And my friend didn't really know. I just, come along day after day and just say, I've got another song, and persuade him to play. And yeah, it was a good experience.
Yeah, well,
all inside a shed. Well, thank you.
I bet these days you can make great music from your bedroom, from anywhere, to be honest. There's more than a little Bob Dylan in there. Is he one of your sort of big inspirations?
Yeah, Dylan's the reason that I play music, I would say. His songs showed me what songs could be, I'd say. So yeah, I'm more than grateful to him. So.
And you ended up watching one of your shows, The Hot Farm, a few years
ago?
Well,
yeah, that's more speculation than anything, I'd say. But I played a set. It's quite a long story, actually. But I played a set in the acoustic tent, and then they needed to empty the toilets outside, and so this big wagon came, and I had the audience there, and then they just started unloading these toilets. And then the smell was just awful, and so I just had to cut it short. And I was like, "Yep, well, this is the last song. Thanks for staying till the end of it." And then that was the end of that, and the place was cleared. And then one of the promoters came up and said, "You were just playing in there, weren't you?" And he said, "I think you should know, but Bob Dylan came and stood at the back of the crowd for a minute and watched until the wagon came and shifted everybody on." But so yeah, that's a story for the grandkids if they ever come.
Yeah, fantastic. But I mean, everyone needs a little bit of luck, and yours was being spotted by the lovely Joan Armatrading while busking in Waterloo Station. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was. That's how I sort of cut my teeth in music. It was playing around the South Bank, and in some of the tube stations around there, and it was sometime in summer 2012, I think it was, and I was playing away in Waterloo, and then Joan Armatrading just happened to be standing watching for a moment, and I thought I'll just finish the song. She's listening, and then she came up and gave me a card and just said, I think you should play on my next tour. And I was a bit speechless. And then I went home and sent an email to the address, and then next thing I was supporting her on the 2012 tour. So yeah, it was great.
Oh, well, yeah. But she asked you straight away on the spot.
Yeah, she just asked me on the spot. She just said, "This isn't my email, but it'll go to my PR people. But just say that Joan spoke to you." And so yeah, I replied that night, and I'm so grateful to Joan for those opportunity. They've been the best gigs I've ever played, really.
Yeah, I mean, you travelled quite far and wide with her.
Yeah.
Is she like a mentor to you, or?
I'd love to say that, and she has given me lots of advice. So yeah, she's showed me how to perform to that kind of audience, really. She wanted me to speak as well. She just said, just don't worry, they're there for me. You could go out and tie your shoelaces and it'd be fine. and then and that eased my nerves a little bit. And she said, just try and say a few words, and you don't have to say a funny joke, just say any joke. And like the natural tension in the air of a crowd, that many people just laugh out of nerves more than anything. So so she just said, just say anything. So I ended up rambling between songs, and people seem to laugh, you know, whether it's at me or with me, I don't know. But yeah, she's taught me too many things that I can remember, really. But yeah, just watching her and speaking to her backstage during those tours. But yeah, it's the best experience of my musical life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, recently now you've recorded a follow-up album, South on East Street, out December the 3rd. What can you expect there?
Well, hopefully an album worth listening to. at the least, I hope. Yeah, there's a funny story with that album. I was playing a gig in the Joiners Arms in Camberwell, and it's one of my favourite places to play in London. And me and my band, we'd had a couple to drink, I think, and by the end of the night we were full of the joys of playing, and I just mentioned, we'll have an album launch here. 2 months, give us 2 months and we'll get an album together. And then I just thought they'd forgotten about it, but then I was driving past the pub on Camberwell, and then it was written in the window, album launch, Ben Holland, 3rd of December. So I just thought, we're gonna have to get it together then and get the album done. So we had a 2-month deadline, and I think it's pretty much done now. So yeah, 3rd of December. I hope it's worth listening to. Yeah.
Is any particular themes running through the album?
Yeah, I like to write songs about. They're very rarely about me, because I just think that's boring. I don't really want to tell people about my life too much. I like to look at what's happening in the world, and I think the world is at best an interesting place these days. So and at worst, there's a lot going on. You know, there's a lot of material for songs, I'd say. So yeah, it's about current events, I suppose.
Excellent. And yeah, I mean, you generally record as live as well. Is that the approach on this album?
Yeah, I always like to record. I just find it very hard to record any other way than sitting in front of the other musicians and us playing like we're playing together. I don't like to sit behind a wall or something and hear them, or I like to just play like live. That's the way I learned, and it's the only way I can do it, really. And I can only really sing if I have a guitar in my lap. If ever I'm like, someone asked me to redo a vocal or something, I can't do it. I can't, you know, maybe I should practice and be able to do that, but I literally can't sing without chords underneath me, or play with a band that I'm not sitting with at the time. So that's the way I like to do it. But my favourite records are all recorded that way.
Yeah, exactly. It does make for a more intense, immediate sound as well.
Yeah, live music is my favourite, and I don't think that'll ever change. I don't like a song that's like all cut and pasted from different.
Yeah.
You know, what's the word for that? Like a Frankenstein stuck together. But
it's a good way of describing it.
Yeah.
What about live with the Ben Holland band? What could people expect to hear?
Well, at the very least, it'll be a long gig. So
yes,
if you like a long gig and you don't have anything to do that night, we will fill up that time. A good waste of time, that's what I'll say. So come along, and then at best you might enjoy the music. So
why did you start playing such sort of epic gigs?
Because it takes us about 45 minutes to stop arguing and just play as a band in a way. No, we're all really good friends, and that's probably that probably goes against us sometimes, because we're like, you know, we're all old married couples really, and it takes us ages to get in tune, and then we're always sharing tuners, and then my bassist loses it and I've lost that, and so it takes us 45 minutes to get things straight, and then we're like, okay, right, we'll start now. After that, it's basically a sound check for an hour, but a live sound check, and then we start to play after that point. So I'd never really like to have a short gig. I don't want, with them anyway. It's easy if I play on my own, then it's easy. It's the same at the beginning as it is at the end in a way. I don't have to warm up or anything. But playing with them, we all got to decide not to argue and to play,
sure.
Which takes an hour.
But where did your musical journey begin then?
There wasn't really a beginning, really. It just I was playing on the side of normal life, I suppose, and then just slowly I found myself only doing music and nothing else. So there wasn't like a definite I'm going to play music point. It was, but I suppose during my teens, I was working in. I left school at 16. We didn't really get on, me in school, so we had a disagreement, and so I went into the factories in my hometown of Carlisle. That's basically what you do when you leave school in where I'm from, and I picked up a guitar, and I loved it straight away, and I played after I'd finished work, and then I decided, could this be my work instead? And so far, fingers crossed, I can carry on. But yeah, so there isn't really a beginning. There's just it
like
slowly became
natural progression as such. Then,
hope so. All right, like a fall.
When can we next see you live?
Next live gig. When is it? I'm playing on the 3rd of December, which is my album launch. So I'd say come down to that, definitely, in Camberwell. And like I say, I promise a long gig. So and there's some good support acts for that night as well. So, but that's the Camberwell, the Joiners Arms in Camberwell on the 3rd of December, and we'll be giving out the album for free. So come along for that alone.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for your time. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure.
For somebody just getting into Ben Holland, what sort of 3 songs would you say from your repertoire? Check these 3 out. They really sum me up as an artist.
Well, have a look at from the album In Use Day and Night. I would say the song I'm enjoying playing the most at the moment is Your Gods Won't Tell You, and you can see that on the Bandcamp site. I think that's like the featured track. So if you just go to my Bandcamp, benholland.bandcamp.com, and that'll be the first song you see. So have a listen to that. Maybe if you like that, maybe the first song on the album, Death of a Heart. I think that's worth a look. And then maybe I always change my mind what I like and then what I really don't like. So it depends, it changes by the day. But maybe Diamond of the Elephant Gang. I like that because that sort of tells a story. It speaks for itself, so have a look.
Good stuff. Anything else to say to Music News watchers?
Well, thank you very much for listening. I hope I haven't bored you, and come along to the Joiners Arms on the 3rd of December.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot for your time.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care.